In this module, what we propose to do is, we want to learn about Sheffy's method of multiple comparison. Previously, we have learned analysis of variance model or analysis of variance as a special case of fitting a linear model. What we have seen also is that we test the null hypothesis of equality of several mean across different segments of the population in our analysis of variance. And once we test this null hypothesis, we then want to probe further and look at the significant difference in the pairs. In case of Sheffy's method of multiple comparison, this helps us in testing different contrasts in addition to the pairwise comparisons. In this module, let us look at the Sheffy's method of multiple comparison. Now, in statistics, Sheffy's method, named after the American statistician Henry Sheffy, is a method for adjusting significance levels in a linear regression to account for multiple comparison. It is particularly useful in analysis of variance, which we have seen is a special case of regression analysis, where in case of regression analysis we have the independent variables which are continuous. If we consider these independent variables to be factors, then we get a regression model which reduces to the analysis of variance model. And in analysis of variance, when we look at the null hypotheses that we test, we usually test for equality of mean across different factors, and the alternative that we test is that at least one of them is significantly different from the rest. Now, after in the first phase of testing this null hypothesis, we now probe further and we want to see exactly which pair was significantly different from the rest. That is when we start using Sheffy's method of multiple comparison. So in particular, when this method is useful in analysis of variance and in constructing simultaneous confidence bands for regression involving basis functions, Sheffy's method is a single-step multiple comparison procedure which applies to the set of estimates of all possible contrasts among the factor level means, not just the pairwise differences considered by the Tukey's method. So we have seen that Tukey's method is one of the more easier and one of the more simpler measures of multiple comparison. Sheffy's method can also be used for multiple comparison in case of contrasts, where we are testing not just pairs of variables and whether they are significantly different from each other or not, but also contrasts or linear combination of these means and how they behave under the dataset. So let us look at the method. Let mu1, mu2, mu_r be the means of some variable in R disjoint population. So some variable which we have measured for R disjoint population, we want to test whether there is a significance difference between them, or they are all equal to each other. So an arbitrary contrast can be defined by C equals summation I equals 1 to R Ci mu I, where the summation of the coefficients are such that it has to be equals 0. So if mu1, mu2, mu_r are all equal to each other, then all contrasts among them are 0. Otherwise, some contrasts differ from 0. Technically, there are infinitely many contrasts, as you can see, depending on the different combination of C that we can take. Keeping in mind the constraint of summation of Ci equals 0, we can have innumerable possibilities of defining a contrast. So the simultaneous confidence coefficient is exactly 1 minus alpha, whether the factor level sample sizes are equal or unequal. Usually, only a finite number of comparisons are of interest. So although we have innumerable possibilities of contrast, we only focus on a finite few which are of interest to us. In this case, Sheffy's method is typically quite conservative and the experimental error rate will generally be much smaller than alpha. So we assume that the confidence that we have is 1 minus alpha, where alpha is attributed to the error in our estimation and Sheffy's method of multiple comparison makes certain that this alpha is as small as possible. So we estimate C by C hat, which equals summation I equals 1 to R Ci times Yi hat. As you have seen that we had written the contrast as C equals I equals 1 to R Ci times mu I. Mu I is the unobservable population mean, so we are replacing it in the estimated value of the contrast, and we get the estimate as C prime equals I equals 1 to R Ci Yi hat, for which the estimated variance is given by S C hat square equals sigma C hat square summation I equals 1 to R Ci square divided by Ni, where Ni is the size of the sample taken from the ith population, and the one whose mean is mu I, and sigma C hat square is the estimated variance of the error. It can be shown that the probability is 1 minus alpha that all confidence limits of the type C hat plus minus SC times square root of R minus 1 times F alpha R minus 1 comma n minus r are simultaneously correct, where as usual n is the size of the whole population. Now, what is the justification of using the Sheffy's procedure? When we already had the Tukey's method, which helped us test the different contrasts of significant pairwise difference between the mean, why do we really look at Sheffy's procedure? Now let us consider an arbitrary sequence C1, C2, Cr, which satisfy the condition that when taken the sum of it equals 0. Then with L equals summation I equals 1 to R Ci mu I, and L hat equals summation I equals 1 to R Ci Yi bar, we have L hat minus L equals summation I equals 1 to R Ci times Yi bar minus mu I. If you remember, in one of the previous modules we had looked at the residuals of the response, which were of the form of y minus y hat, the difference between the observed and the estimated values of y. We are doing the similar thing here. When estimating the contrast, we had written Ci Yi bar, where Yi bar was the estimate of mu I, which was the unobservable population mean. So L hat minus L can now be written as summation I equals 1 to R Ci times Yi bar minus mu I minus y bar minus mu, since summation I equals 1 to R Ci equals 0 is the condition that's satisfied by C1, C2, Cr. So L hat minus L, the difference between the estimated and the expected and the observed contrast equals summation I equals 1 to R Ci times epsilon I bar minus epsilon bar, with epsilon I bar equals summation Ni 1 over Ni summation j equals 1 to Ni epsilon Ij, and epsilon bar equals 1 divided by Nt summation I equals 1 to R summation j equals 1 to Ni epsilon Ij, where epsilon Ij equals Yij minus mu I, and it happens to follow a normal distribution with mean 0, and it is homoscedastic, so the error terms have a variance of sigma square. Now taking Ai equals Ci divided by square root of Ni and Bi equals square root of Ni times epsilon I bar minus epsilon bar, and applying the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, we obtain the following. Modulus of L prime minus L hat minus L equals mod of summation I equals 1 to R Ci divided by square root of Ni times square root of Ni into epsilon I bar minus epsilon bar. By Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, this is less than equals square root of summation I equals 1 to R Ci square divided by Ni times square root of summation I equals 1 to R Ni times epsilon I bar minus epsilon bar whole square. Since S, or the standard deviation of L hat, equals square root of the mean square error times square root of summation I equals 1 to r ci square over ni, as we had seen in the previous page. From equation 1 we can write mod of L hat minus L divided by S of L hat less than equals square root of summation I equals 1 to r ni times epsilon I bar minus epsilon bar whole square divided by the mean square error. Now let us observe that summation I equals 1 to r ni times epsilon I bar minus epsilon bar whole square has the same distribution as the sum of square due to the treatment, under the hypothesis that all the mu are equal. So mu1 equals mu2 equals mu r. Thus, summation I equals 1 to r ni times epsilon I bar minus epsilon bar whole square divided by sigma square, where sigma square is the variance of the error term, follows a chi-square distribution with r minus 1 degrees of freedom. Also, since summation I equals 1 to r ni times epsilon I bar minus epsilon bar square is defined in terms of y1 bar, y2 bar, yr bar, it is independent of MSE. Moreover, SSE divided by sigma square is known to follow a chi-square distribution with nt minus r degrees of freedom. Therefore, summation I equals 1 to r ni times epsilon I bar minus epsilon bar whole square divided by r minus 1 over MSE equals the ratio of two chi-square, as we have shown how they follow chi-square distribution. So this equals chi-square r minus 1 divided by r minus 1 over chi-square nt minus r divided by nt minus r. And by definition of an F distribution, this is supposed to follow an F distribution with r minus 1 times nt minus r degrees of freedom. This proves that if we choose S equals square root of r minus 1 times F 1 minus alpha r minus 1 comma nt minus r, then the intervals CLS are defined as L hat plus minus uppercase S multiplied by S L hat, which satisfies that probability L belonging to CLS alpha for all L belonging to L equals 1 minus alpha. So the condition that the confidence level of the confidence interval has to be 1 minus alpha is also satisfied. Now let us look at an illustrative example. Consider the following data. The data in the table resulted from an experiment run in a completely randomized design in which each of 4 treatments were replicated 5 times. So the 4 treatments can be considered as the 4 factors, and for each factor we have replicated 5 times and observed the response variable. So we have calculated for each of the group the total and the mean. Now, this experiment can be illustrated by the table layout for this one-way analysis of variance experiment as shown below. So for the 4 different levels, we have I equals 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the sample J, where J runs from 1 to 5 in case of each level, we can find y11, y12, y15, likewise all the way up to 412, 412, 415. Now finding the sum for each level, we have y1, y2, y3 and y4, and the mean for the 4 factors, the sample mean would be y1 bar, y2 bar, y3 bar and y4 bar. And we also have seen the n1, n2, n3 and n4, the size of each sample. Now it so happens that in this example, which is used for illustration, it's a balanced case where each of the factors or levels has equal number of sample units, which means that n1 equals n2 equals n3 equals n4. Now we wish to estimate the following contrast. So we have written the contrast in the form of C1 equals mu1 plus mu2 over 2 minus mu3 plus mu4 divided by 2. So as we can see that here, if you take the sum of all the coefficients add up to 0, as was the condition in case of the generalized form of contrast that we have seen previously. And C2 is also written as a linear combination where the sum of the coefficient equals 0 in the form of mu1 plus mu3 over 2 minus mu2 plus mu4 divided by 2. And we construct 95% confidence interval for the above contrasts Here mu i's are the population mean corresponding to the 4 groups. Now the point estimate of the contrasts would be y1 bar plus y2 bar over 2 minus y3 bar plus y4 bar over 2, which happens to be minus 0.5, and C2 hat is y1 bar plus y3 bar over 2 minus y2 bar plus y4 bar over 2 equals negative 0.5. Now if we apply the formula that we have learnt above, we obtain in both the cases summation I equals 1 to r ci squared divided by ni equals 4 times half square divided by 5, which equals 0.2. Also, for the contrast, the standard error or the standard deviation is given by sigma e hat square summation I equals 1 to r ci square divided by 5, which equals 1.331 times 0.2, as we have already found the value of summation and the term within it. So this equals 0.2661, where sigma e hat square equals 1.331, and the standard error is 0.5158, which is the square root of the calculated value of variance above. Now for a confidence coefficient of 95% and degrees of freedom in the numerator of r minus 1 equals 3 and of the denominator n minus 4 equals 16, we have square root of r minus 1 times f alpha r minus 1 comma n minus r, which equals square root of 3 times f 0.05 3 comma 16, which from the f distribution table equals 3.12. So the confidence limits for C1 are negative 0.5 plus minus 3.12 times 0.5158, and for C2 they are 0.34 plus minus 1.608. So the desired simultaneous confidence interval with 95% confidence is then given by 2.108 less than equals C1 less than equals 1.108, and C2 lies in between 1.268 and 1.948. So in this module, what we have learnt is not just the pairwise comparison, which can be done using Tukey's method. Sheffy's method is proposed in order to test for different contrasts. The contrasts are defined as special linear combination of the mean, of the unknown mean, which we test in the null hypothesis, and the condition is that the coefficients, when you take the sum of the coefficients in the contrast, they all add up to 0. So any different combination of the population mean across the different segments where the sum of the coefficient is 0 can be considered as a contrast and can be tested using the Sheffy's method.